Welcome to the Systems Thinker Show. This is Season 5, Episode 39. And a special thanks to all of our listeners out there in 32 countries. We're aiming to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of 2025, and less than 44% of our listeners are actually subscribed. So could you do us a huge favor and hit that subscribe or follow button now? It really helps us with the algorithm so we can keep bringing you these best-in-class business cultural insights. All right, today we're diving into one of the 48 laws of power and how it can really transform your team's culture. So let's really kick this off with a question that, on the surface, seems like a total no-brainer. Is more freedom always better for a team? I mean, we're constantly told that autonomy is the secret sauce for engagement and innovation, right? Well, for one manufacturer, a culture of endless choice wasn't empowering at all. In fact, it was absolutely crippling. Their story is this fascinating case study in how, sometimes, putting in the right structure can be the most liberating thing you can possibly do for a team. All right, so let's dig into this problem of having just way too much choice. You might have heard of it. It's called choice paralysis, and it was basically running rampant at this company, Meridian Components. See, at Meridian, what everyone called freedom was really just freedom with no guardrails, no framing at all. You had dozens of these ad hoc, make-it-up-as-you-go processes for everything. And what did that lead to? Total paralysis, endless rework, and a nasty blame game when things inevitably went wrong. You had employees who felt completely exposed, and leaders who felt like they were carrying every single ounce of risk on their own. It was honestly a perfect storm for decision fatigue. So, how in the world do you fix a mess like that? Well, the leadership at Meridian found their answer in a really unexpected place. A place that, on the surface might seem pretty controversial if you're trying to build a positive, trusting team culture. They actually turned to Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power, specifically Law number 31, Control the Options. And the tagline is pretty blunt: get others to play with the cards you deal. And I know what you're probably thinking right now. That sounds super manipulative, doesn't it? Like you're just trying to rig the game. But here's where it gets interesting. This next idea completely reframes that. The goal here is not to trick people. It's about engineering clarity. Think about it like this. It's taking a totally chaotic, overwhelming set of choices and just simplifying it down to a few really good pre-vetted options. So it's about designing better choices, not about deception. And here's how Meridian pulled it off. They did 3 really smart things. First, they created what they called decision menus for common problems that kept popping up. Second, they set up smart defaults, basically the best path forward if no other choice is made. And third, and this is so important, they were totally transparent about the why. They told everyone, we're doing this to improve our speed, our safety, and to build trust with our customers. And let me tell you, this shift from chaos to clarity, it wasn't just some fuzzy feeling. It produced immediate, totally measurable improvements right across the board. Get this, within just 60 days, the amount of time their problem-solving documents were just sitting around, stuck waiting for a decision, it dropped by a massive 41%. Decisions were just happening faster because the path forward was finally clear. And this next part really just shows the human impact of all this. One of their operators said, and I love this quote, "I know the next move and I won't be second-guessed for following it." Wow, that is huge. That's about removing anxiety. It's about building real psychological safety. People finally felt confident enough to take action because they knew for a fact they were choosing from a set of approved, effective solutions. And the hard numbers that followed were just dramatic. Take their on-time delivery, a super critical metric for them. It jumped from an already pretty good 87% all the way up to an incredible 96%. I mean, that kind of improvement directly hits the bottom line and makes customers really happy. Then there's their overall equipment effectiveness, or OEE, as they call it. It's a key measure of productivity in manufacturing. It saw a nearly 8-point jump, which basically means their equipment was running way more efficiently because all those decisions around downtime were happening faster, and frankly, they were just better decisions. And this might be the most important part of all. Look at the impact on the team's actual experience. They saw a 19-point jump in role clarity on their employee surveys. People finally understood what was expected of them and how they could succeed. The whole culture shifted from, heroic, stressful improvisation to what you could call designed decisiveness. Now, this whole idea of guiding choices, it isn't unique to Robert Greene, not at all. A lot of the great management thinkers have tackled this exact thing, just from different angles. It's really about a shared goal of being more effective, just looking at it through different lenses. So if you look at this, you can see a comparison between Green's, let's call it influence-first philosophy, and the infrastructure-first approach you see from gurus like Petersenge or John Kotter. So Green is all about framing the options for people. The others are more focused on building the systems and standards. But here's the thing. Both paths can lead to the exact same outcome, better, faster decisions. The key difference in the ethics guardrail is that for Green, it's all about transparency. For the others, it's more about feedback loops and co-creation. Okay, so what's the big takeaway here for you and your team? It really boils down to shifting your mindset. Stop thinking about controlling people and start thinking about creating clarity for them. It's a blueprint for success that helps you avoid all those nasty pitfalls of manipulation. And for this to actually work both ethically and effectively, these 5 things are pretty much non-negotiable. You have to have clear intent, no hidden agendas. You've got to co-design the options with your team so they feel ownership. There need to be visible triggers so everyone knows exactly when to use these new tools. You need a regular cadence to turn it into a real habit. And of course, you need a feedback loop so you can keep making the options better and better over time. So just remember, the goal here isn't control, it's clarity. The winning formula is simple. Work with your team to design a small set of safe, effective options, wire them right into your daily routines, and be relentlessly, completely transparent about the purpose behind it all. And that really leaves us with one final thought for you to take back to your own team. Think about it. Where are the recurring problems, the bottlenecks, the spots where decisions always seem to lag? In your organization, right now, where could providing fewer, better options create way more success for everyone? That's our explainer for today. For additional information, please feel free to reach out via our website at www.karaswisher.com. And hey, be sure to check out our other podcast, The Continuous Improvement Lab. A very special thank you to our executive producer and founder, Linear Johnson. Thanks so much for listening.